Hello class, my name is Tori Davila. This is Unit 6 video discussion, and we'll be discussing stakeholder management plan. And to me, stakeholder management, well actually according to the PMBOK, stakeholder management is basically the level of engagement you have with your stakeholders. How well are you at managing expectations on a project, and how well are you communicating these, and how you manage all of this communication on what to expect, changes, budget changes, control changes, configuration changes, any type of major issue. How are you managing all this, and how are they liking the progress on the project? And this is important because no matter how hard you work on a project and how much you hustle and put in effort into it, if at the end of the project these stakeholders don't approve your project, it will be deemed a failure against you, and basically all your work will be pretty much null. So that would count against your reputation and basically against your work portfolio, and it can affect you in a number of ways. The major components of a stakeholder management plan are to identify stakeholders, to plan stakeholder engagement. Then again, just planning how we're going to do this, manage stakeholder engagement, making sure that everything is continuing to go, communications, meetings, reviews, all of this is going, and monitoring. Pretty much just oversight over the whole the whole process, making sure that you're conveying the information that you want to, and the stakeholders are getting the data that they really need and want. Um, the stakeholder theory is a theory geared towards how business is performed. According to the PMBOK, it's basically stating that in order for a business to be effective, financiers, the customer, the suppliers, the community, the stakeholders, everybody has to have some type of added value. Everybody has to benefit from this because that just makes for a better economy, I think, in general, personally. And this just ensures that no one entity or no one sector is benefited more than others, for the good of all, pretty much. So it's just basically a way, and it's up to management and PMs and everybody and entrepreneurs to figure out how to distribute these and how to manage a way of all of these gaining value from all sides, pretty much. That's basically, it's just kind of a way to avoid almost like per se monopolizing, or one side being taking, financiers taking all the advantage and us not getting any value for all that money, or things like that. um, and I think a good way to do that, a way that an organization does that effectively, is, like I said, maintaining that communication with the stakeholder, always communicating problems, not crying wolf at the small problems, and making everybody get discombobulated and running around. It's just making sure that when you do convey a message, you tell them what's wrong. You just be as honest as you can, so that way they're clear on what's happening. They trust you. They begin to like you, and basically goes into them investing in you once again, them coming back to you and saying, I know how he is, I like him, I trust him, his decision making is on point, or it's not. It's just basically serves as a way of them evaluating you as well. um, so to be effective, you just need to be clear and do all those things that are basically, that show your integrity, and they're crystal clear. You're basically the stakeholders' eyes and ears on the field. So um, the best way to deliver bad news is, in my opinion, is to state the facts and the impact. Just knowing how this is going to affect the business, and is this really of the magnitude that everybody thinks it is. And when you bring up a problem, you always want to bring up a set of solutions. You want to be prepared when you bring this to the stakeholder, because you don't want to show up and look like a dummy that just doesn't know what to do, and you're basically asking them for guidance. That will hinder your trust level, because if they have to direct you at every turn, then it's not going to turn out good for you. This just goes back into them trusting you more, and you always want to deliver. Trust is a big factor, and when you deliver news of any kind, whether it's good or bad, just face to face, and you have that interaction, so they know they can gauge what you're thinking and how you're feeling about things. I just think delivering bad news personally is the best way to go, because it just shows that you're not afraid of confronting a circumstance, or taking on a challenge head on. If you just go, be honest, you tell them face to face, they can ask you questions back immediately. Something can be worked out there. So those are basically all the things. And this is all important, like I said, because at the end of the day, the stakeholder is the entity that is financing and has heavy invested interest in this project. So they're going to be worried like anybody else about where their money's going, what's happening, and what's the progress, and was this really worth it? That's why we have earned value metrics, and this is just a way of gauging where everything is at, so we can present to the stakeholders for real life updates and real life data, um, just to put their minds at ease, and just to let them know that progress is being made and how well is that progress being executed. Uh, that is my week 6 discussion. I apologize for the delays. Things got pretty crazy. Uh, and thank you very much, class. Have a great night.